How's it going, you lot? Hope you're all fine and dandy. Now, I haven't done anything with the Talbot for bloody ages. The last time I did anything with it, it had a bit of a leak, antifreeze leak. So, and we've also got an issue with the carburetor. So let's see if we can play around with that. Let me show you what else I've been playing around with. And no, it's not what you think. Look, we've got ourselves a HPI Savage. This is a Savage 25. Now, well, iconic, absolutely iconic RC monster truck. I've got the 21 and an SS. This is a 25. Now this has been given to me by the same bloke who's got all them T-Maxes. All these T-Maxes, not that one at the bottom there, all the RPM stuff in it, that's been sold. But that one, that's a Revo there with a red shell. That, all them there and them over there, all going to be included in a raffle. But if you want to win one, excuse me, if you want to win one of them T-Maxes and you want to help out Ace High Drone Specialists, because what he does is he goes all the way over to Ukraine, right, and he gets rid of all the landmines and all the areas, so the little children and all them kind of thing, other just genuine innocent people can't tread on them and get themselves blown up. That's what he does, and them T-Maxes being raffled off. There is T-Maxes, I got them going and raffling them off and selling them, but I've got to raffle them off. I've got to finish the raffle first. To raise money for his next trip to go to Ukraine to do that kind of stuff. Does it with drones. Pretty cool. If you want to read about it, there'll be a link in the description of this video to his website. You can read about it. Also a link to the raffle as well. So if you wanted to enter it, it's a £5 for a ticket. Yeah, £5, man. You could win yourself a £200 RC car. What can I say? There we go. Happy days. But this is his Savage 25, his personal Savage 25, and he's given it to me to get going, and I've been playing around with it. I've done the shocks, rebuilt the shocks, and got the engine running. The next thing to do is to give it a bit of a test drive. It's a good one, it's got reverse and all sorts on it. So if you want to see that type of thing, and all this testing on this car, the video of it getting it running, the video rebuilding the shocks, and the video that I haven't made yet of test driving it. Oh, I put a new receiver in it and everything as well. There will be a link probably in one of them card things on the top right hand corner, if I remember to do it, to those videos. Happy days. But we need to fix the carburetor. Oh, is it that drawer? It is that drawer. We need to fix the carburetor on the Talbot Express, don't we? Now, what it is, the fuel screw keeps winding itself out because the little O-ring that holds it in is obviously worn, and it does suck in air through that. But I can't afford a rebuild kit. Is about 70 quid for that carburetor, and I'm not in a position to do that at the moment, put it that way. So we're going to try and fix it with some tape, and I reckon you lot, it's all this, it's just sort of, see, I know you're thinking, well, it doesn't matter, why does it matter what colour it is? Well, the thing is, some of this tape is cheap electrical tape, and some of it's a bit more expensive. I mean, it sticks better. I think this is the good. Is this the good stuff? I don't know. I think this was the good stuff. That's self-amalgamating tape and all that. I think that was the good stuff. That black one there. Yeah, I had some it stuck really well. Some of it was just, well, it might as well not be tape. It just didn't stick to anything. I think that was the good stuff. So we'll try a bit of that. So I thought I'd show you in the book what I'm trying to do, because you might not be able to see. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this camera in there very well to show you what I'm doing. So what we've got here, this is a diagram of the carburetor. So there's the constant CO screw there, number 3. But the one, that's alright, that one, but the one that is loose and it keeps winding itself. If you wind it out enough where it's rich enough and it runs okay, it winds itself even further out and then it falls out. If you put it in further, it's too lean. If you put it into a place where it doesn't wind itself out, then it's too lean, it doesn't want to run, too weak. Anyway, it's there. Number 2, which is obviously the mixture control screw. So what we're going to do, we're going to put tape over it, try and stop it from winding out. We shouldn't need a lot, it's just the vibrations from the engine that make it wind out. But that's going to be our temporary fix. Grumpy old neighbour's not in on the left side, and the nice neighbour, the old bloke that used to be grumpy but isn't anymore, he's nice now, on the other side, has got all his windows closed, which is good. So let's fire up the beast, let it warm up a bit, and then we'll play around with that screw and try and tape it in place, see what happens. Need a new starter motor. Need a new starter motor, Johnny boy. She's not happy today. Not happy. It's been about a month since it was ran, so that bowl on that carburetor is going to be dry as a bone, Johnny boy. And the only way to get fuel to it, petrol to it, is to turn it over, because it's mechanical fuel pump, not electric. Yeah, a lot of people think that, but you need to think about it. Mechanical fuel pumps, yeah. If it's an electric fuel pump, yeah, turn on the key and it will prime, right, and then it will be alright. If it doesn't start, it's another problem. But with a mechanical fuel pump, the only way it's going to pump, it only ever pumps when the engine is turning over. So that means you need to turn the engine over, obviously, for it to pump any fuel. So that means sometimes if the bowl has evaporated and gone dry, it'll take a while to start. It'll go for quite a while, because it's pumping the fuel up the lines into the bowl, filling the bowl up, and then it's going into the engine. So a lot of people think, oh, it's not starting straight away, it means there's something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just evaporated and it's got a mechanical fuel pump. It could be the fuel pump might be weak. This one is weak, I know that for a fact. I had to plug up the return line. Plugging up the return line means that it doesn't return anymore. All the pressure is going into the carburetor. Whereas before, some of the pressure went into the carburetor and some of it returned back into the tank. But because the pump is weak, we want all the pressure to go to the carburetor. A little trick, it won't last forever. This pump will give up eventually. I need to put a new one on it, and you can't get new ones, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Well, you used to be able to get them from coastal motorhomes, but you can't anymore. I'll go through that later on. Anyway, we'll let it warm up a little bit, we'll play around with that screw, tape it in place, and then we'll have a look to see where our leak is. We've got a leak, antifreeze leak. Good news is, all the wall has dried up, mostly. I think it has pretty much dried up, that's good. It's not soft and spongy, well, it's a little bit spongy down there. I think that still needs to dry there a little bit. But all this here, this was all spongy here. It's all dry, which is good. I think it's the same over here. Yep, that's all dried. That old screw there needs to come out. That was there before, don't worry about that. Yeah, it's all dry. So that is brilliant. Luckily we're coming into summer now, so we shouldn't have much rain. We haven't had any rain now for about a month. So it's had plenty of time to dry up, and hopefully that's good news, and then I can rectify that issue or just ignore it. Now the screw that we're trying to play with is there. I don't know if I'm about getting tape on it, to be honest. That's the one I need to. Because what happens is it falls out. It's all loose. It might be alright. I think we've got a bit of a leak. I don't know if it is still leaking, to be honest. Can't get the compressor out here. Right. Got you floating amongst some wires. Now the tick over screw is, where is it? There. I've got to try and, don't know what size spanner it is. It's bloody hot down here now, I've had it running. Don't think it's a 5. Looks like it might be a 6. I can't remember the last time. It might be a 6 or a 7. still a little bit too high. Might be alright. Where's my screwdriver? Now let's see. I'll just turn that screw out a little bit. See what we get. We'll turn it down a little bit more, really. Let's get our 7 back. And see what we get. Cool, bloody hell. I'll show you what's what. Pretty serious stuff going on here now. Tick over. I've got to say, it's going pretty well at the moment. I don't want to speak too soon, but seems to be alright. Hopefully that screw don't come out. I'm going to go to a nice little spot and we can have a look. But it seems to be running pretty well. It's got more than enough power at the moment. So we'll see. Hopefully we're going to be good. For now, until it has a rebuild, of course, obviously. I do think it's running a little bit quick. Tick over still a little bit too high. I'll lower that. We don't seem to be leaking any antifreeze at the moment. So I think that stops, hopefully. That whirring noise is the clutch. Listen, ready? Goes away. So the thrust bearing, but it was like that when I bought it anyway. It's been like it for the past 4 years, so just gonna have to keep my eye on it. Once you drive, if you drive for like 2 hours and it gets nice and hot, it does quieten down quite a lot, but for the most part it just stays like that. But as long as it's alright for now, when it starts really squealing I'll have to put a new clutch in it. I'll do the clutch and the bearing on it. But anyway, seems to be running alright. Temperature is staying there for now, but the thing is, the heating, it's warm, but that should be roasting at that temperature. That heating should be roasting, but it's warm, and then the longer you run it, the colder it gets. So, coming to the conclusion, for those of you that comment on the other video, I've come to the conclusion everything I think is okay. The problem is that valve is snapped off at the top, so I'm going to leave that. You can't buy, for those of you interested, I phoned up Coastal Motorhomes, and you can't buy that valve anymore. The people who were making it have stopped making it. You can buy the valve for the Mark IIs, but this one is a Mark I, and the way you tell the difference is the headlights are there. Mark II's headlight on a stick, twister stick. Mark I's are in there. So this is a Mark I Talbot Express, and you can't buy that valve anymore. So I'm going to have to take that old valve off again and try and repair it again. It must be stuck in between hot and cold, which is why we just got warm heating. But for now, that's not majorly important. The important thing is the engine doesn't overheat, doesn't leak antifreeze, and our carburetor is running reasonably well. That's the main thing that we need to think about. Let's have a little quick look under the bonnet. I bet it seems to you like every single video I just do the same things. I pretty much do. Play around with the carburetor, play around with the antifreeze, come to this same road here, exactly the same spot, and then have a look. I'll do it, I don't know, it just goes round in a bloody circle, doesn't it? But that's what life's all about. Or is it? Maybe it's not, I don't know. A little bit coming out the overflow pipe. Must be boiling over a little bit. I think it's not boiling over, but I put too much in the header tank, so it's just spitting it out that pipe there. That's all it's doing. That's all it's doing, just spitting it out that pipe. The leak that was there You can see the remnants of the leak with that Jubilee clip's got pink on it. I don't know whether you can see that or not. There, that Jubilee clip's got a bit of pink on it. That doesn't appear to be leaking now, does it? So we might, I think I've got that one done. The other leak was, I think it still might be leaking a little bit, I don't know. It was on the thermostat housing there. You can see the remnants where it's all pink. But that might have stopped now. I've just done that Jubilee clip up a bit. I don't want to do the bolts, excuse me. Don't want to do the bolts up too tight in case they strip out and then I'll be in trouble. I think we might have stopped that leak. Doesn't appear to be leaking anywhere. No drips on the floor other than that, but that's that overflow pipe. So I reckon we got it good and proper. Happy days. I've just got to play around with the old tick over, get it a bit lower, but I don't really want, I'm not going to get that perfect because I know you're all going to say it to me anyway, and I'm saying it to myself. I don't want to get, I'm never going to get the tick over perfect with air leaks on the carburettor. I'm never going to get any of it to run any good at all really with air leaks on the carburettor. But I want to get it as close as I can do, and I think I pretty much got it there. Tick over is a bit high still because it's probably sucking in air. Well, it is sucking in air elsewhere. I think if I do that screw a little bit more, I think I'll get it a bit lower. Fans just kicked in at just below 90. Happy days. Oh, I couldn't be bloody happier. Oh, what a lovely... Have you seen the day out there? Do you want me to show you the day? I'll show you the day, look. Look at the day. Look at it. Eh? Gorgeous. This is... You couldn't ask for a better day if you wanted to. If you said, give me a better day, you wouldn't get one. You say, give me a good day, this is what you get. Simple as that. Fans in, on, in. Now I reckon we're alright there. Tick over, as I said, is a bit high. But, alright. I'll lower it a bit when I get home. Fan's gone off, temperature's gone down again, happy days. Heating is mildly warm. In fact, it's maybe slightly more than mildly warm. It's on the in between warm and hot, but it's getting colder now. Colder, stone cold more or less. So yeah, it's definitely that valve, 100% that valve. Tell you what, it's really, it's a lot more responsive now on the throttle. I mean, listen to this, ready? A lot more responsive. There's no rev gauge obviously, so can't see the revs, but it's a lot more responsive now, so definitely done something good, that's for sure. Thinking, right, I'm raffling off RC cars, yeah, model cars. Not for me, I'm not going to get any money from that, that's all going to the charity. All the work I've done on them model cars, right, every bit is going to that charity for the Ukraine. But you never know, man, one day, oh man, imagine that, I'd have to put a hell of a lot of work into this bloody YouTube rubbish. Well, it's not rubbish, is it? It's not rubbish, it's good fun, into this YouTube stuff. But maybe one day I could raffle off a camper van. Imagine that! I'd love to be able to go out down a camper van dealer. I would never better buy imagine buying a new one. Oh man, I'd go and buy a new one. Imagine if I could buy two brand new camper vans, and the second one raffle off to you lot. And you could enter for like a tenner, and for £10 you could win yourself a brand new camper van. Imagine that. That might be my new life goal, you know. I might do that. Life goals. Win a camper van. No, not win a camper van. Be able to let somebody win a camper van from me. Man. The dream. The absolute dream. Anyway. I'm going to go on a little drive. And then we'll see what this ends up to be like. Hopefully it don't break down. And we should be alright, hopefully. I'll see you in a minute. Beautiful. I can't believe how nice of a day it is. Look at the temperatures. We're sticking good, man. Then just under 30 mile an hour. I've been doing it for a little while now. and we're below 90 degrees. The heater's still stone cold, but there we go. Right, let's hope we survive the 40-minute trip home. You never know. If you're into like the little RC car, model car sort of thing, this one is actually for sale. I'm actually selling this one, so if you know, leave a comment or whatever if you might be interested in it. It's a Koshio DBX2. I got it all going. The engine was not very good, so I got another engine. Used both parts from both the engines, made a good engine. Had to get radio tray lids from New Zealand, but it's a fully working buggy now, and it's a very good one. I gave it a little bit of a test drive a few weeks ago, in fact, and it did run away because the switch wasn't very good, but it's got a new switch on it now, and it's a cracking little buggy. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, this one is, at the time of filming this video, currently for sale. So if you're interested, let me know. Thanks for watching, you lot. I'll catch you on the next one. And I know we're not going to keep going around in circles. I've actually got a bit of a, I've got a LT50. There's the manual for it. That's the carb rebuild kit for that. So a bit of a rebuild on the carburetor coming up anyway, but we will be rebuilding the carb on the Talbot at some point. For now, I think it's all right. I did notice it didn't really like. Some points just now it would go up to sort of 60 fine. Other times it would hover at 40, no matter how much you put your foot on the floor. But it's because the carburetor's no good. You know, it needs a rebuild. I know you're going to keep telling me it. I already know that. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I'll see you lot on the next one. Take care. And yeah, we love life, man. Because we all love loving life. And that is exactly what you should be doing. Cheerio.